In this Midcourt masterclass, we're going to use a netball concept of a loaded stack in order to help us understand some learning objectives of the importance of depth, where should I clear space to, why should I clear space, when should I cut back, and how should I cut back to the ball. The loaded stack is an offensive setup that looks to isolate successive one-on-one passes in the most suitable location for the next logical progression of an attack phase. The loaded stack may look like you're bunching all your attackers in the same space. However, each attacker in the loaded stack is looking to get depth from the ball passer in front of them in order to make progress down the court. In this video, we're going to look at 3 different teams, the Swifts, the Giants, and the Vixens, and identify some of the best aspects of each team's loaded stack offense in order to try and get a better understanding of what an elite loaded stack actually is. For our first team, the New South Wales Swifts, we're going to look at the different uses of the wing defence and the goal defence as attacking assets, specifically during free play and not from any centre pass strategies. What the wing defence and goal defence aim to do is retain possession of the ball during free play at the attacking transverse line. This is done so that Swifts attackers can get depth down the court and easily set up a loaded stack with isolated one-on-one drives to the ball. In this play, what the wing defence and goal defence are aiming to do is to help retain possession of the ball at the attacking transverse line. Look at their spacing and how they're always making themselves an option for reset passes and backwards passes. Now we see the Swifts, they're going to try and create attacking depth down the court. And here's this loaded stack. The Swifts do a great job of getting in front of their defender and getting ball side before making their drives to the ball. And here we see that we only really need to string together 1 or 2 isolated loaded stack passes in order to be close enough to the circle edge where we can feed our goal shooter. So it's evident that for a loaded stack type play, you need to be deep first in order to make strong drives forward to the ball and still make progress down the court. Now for this clip, the job of the WD and GD doesn't change. They're still being used to help retain the ball at the attacking transverse line. But watch this drive from Paige Hadley. She goes on this drive clearing all of this space down court, trusting that her teammates will retain possession of the ball. Look at how deep she is. And then after that, she's looking for an opportunity to set up a loaded stack with Helen Housby, and boom, there's that drive, Great offense. And from here, the Swifts can exploit space, easily work it to the circle edge, and get it to the shooter. Again, we only need to string together 1 or 2 loaded stack passes to put us in a good attacking position. Now in this next clip, Helen Housby is going to receive the ball pretty high up in the court, right? But she's actually going to clear all the way down. And then boom, she notices that there's an opportunity for a loaded stack type of play. We're isolating one-on-one passes. Boom, boom, there's our loaded stack, and we're exploiting space, getting it to our shooter. But something that I want to touch on in this play is the loaded stack is setting up on the strong side of the court. So the strong side, there are more players, weak side, there are less players. Maddie Proud actually commits her defender to the weak side. She clears her defender wide. She's committing to that weak side. Why does that happen? Well, let's have a look. So when we're analysing Nettie, it's important to look at what your own team does, as well as what the opposition does too. The Thunderbirds are really great at forcing teams to use reset balls and slow down their offense. And they do this through their defensive setup of a box zone formation. A box zone formation looks like a box, which basically is your center and wing defense stay high and clog up the middle of the court for any wing attacks trying to get the ball. And your goalkeeper and goal defense hunt at any long passes into the pockets of the court. So what that means for the Swifts is that you should look for an easy loaded stack on the strong side of the court. And if that gets jammed up by the defense, then we try to safely swing the ball to the weak side before the defense can recover. So what we're going to do in this play, we're going to identify the strong side and the weak side of the court. So we get an obstruction call here. We're going to set up our loaded stack. We're going to isolate one-on-one passes, and we can't really do anything with it. So we're going to use a reset ball, and look, here's our weak side, here's our strong side. Maddie Proud is going to actively clear space to that weak side. And then when the Thunderbirds wing defense gets caught out trying to hunt off that pass back to the wing attack, we're going to swing it to Maddie Proud, the center, and boom, that opens up the shooting circle. So now for this play, we are going to set up a loaded stack on that strong side. There it is. And then we're going to have our centre Matty Proud clear to the weak side of the court. All those Thunderbirds are clogging that strong side of the court, but we're able to use our cross-court swing ball before the defence can recover to get it into our shooter. That's lovely work. Next, it's the same thing, but what I want us to reflect on is just like how the loaded stack uses depth down the court to isolate easy one-on-one passes and set up attacking chances at circle edge, we still need depth across the court, also known as width, to isolate easy one-on-one passes and set up attacking chances at circle edge too. So in summary, the Swifts use their goal defence and wing defence to retain possession of the ball until their attackers get depth both down and across the court, and they're always looking for any open passes to anyone on the weak side for an easy triangle pass into the shooters. One quick distinction that I want to make for the Giants is that unlike the Swifts, who run their loaded stack from free play from the attacking transverse line, the Giants attack straight from centre passes, where they have more time to set up their offensive strategies before the ball is in play. But what is their offensive strategy? Well, I'm going to call it a middle wide setup. What this is the Giants start in the middle of the court, and then they isolate one-on-one passes out wide towards the sideline, where they're able to time their drives out to the ball to beat their defenders. And this frees up space in the shooting circle to easily feed their great holding shooter, Joe Harden. So middle wide setup, right? We're going to start with middle. Here it is. And then once that first stack player gets the ball, we're going to drive out wide. We're going to beat our defender in an isolated one-on-one drive out. And you can see that the goal attack, Sophie Dwyer did the same thing. There's that drive out to the wide. And they've gotten the ball in their shooting circle. Now you might be thinking, middle wide, that's not a loaded stack, is it? Well, it kind of is, and here's why. So we're sort of used to imagining this loaded stack as like a linear sort of structure where the center comes out first, the goal attack drives out second, and then the goal shooters open third. But the loaded stack doesn't have to be linear. The loaded stack can be anything. Now what the Giants have shown us with their middle wide attacking setup is that as long as you know who the connection piece or the player who receives the ball before you in the loaded stack, here we see it's wing attack, center, goal attack, shooter, you can make any isolated one-on-one drive in any logical direction, and you can still have an effective attack down court. Now, all that this middle wide loaded stack setup is knowing who your connection piece is, or who's going to receive the ball before you is, and then timing your drive to the ball to beat your defender, and that's it. All this play was 3 isolated one-on-one drives to the ball. Now again, we're supporting our connection piece by making good drives to the ball. There's that first pass. Here's that second pass. We're beating our defender through timing our runs right, and we're opening up space in the shooting circle. This play looks the exact same, but it's different. There's our middle wide setup. We're driving out wide to the sideline. Here's our stack drives. It's a beautiful loaded stack. It's a beautiful system. Now, this play is really interesting. Do you remember when I was talking about the swing pass to the weak side of the court, right? Well, here we go. It's going to the shooter. And then we have the wing attack clearing to the weak side, and there's that goal attack for the ball. Now, you might just think, oh, this is a swing pass, or this is a triangle pass. Well, actually, what if you think about it like a loaded stack, where it looks like this, and everyone knows where the next ball is going to go to? Well, actually, that might work. In this play, we're not actually driving to the ball, we're driving where we need to go based on who's going to get it and who I'm going to pass to next. So the Giants teach us that for a good loaded stack, we need to help out our connection piece, or the player who's going to get the ball in front of you. And we need to drive for where we need to go and for who we're going to pass to next. And to time our drives to the ball to beat defenders to the pass. Now, our last team that we're going to be looking at are the Melbourne Vixens. And what I want us to focus on for watching the Vixens is their confidence to throw one-on-one passes and their ability to lose their defenders. So for this next play, the Vixens show that they're really confident to throw these isolated one-on-one passes. But the good thing about this play, the loaded stack in this play, is Kira isn't actually driving towards the ball passer. She's driving away from the player who's going to receive the ball next. She trusts that her teammate is capable enough to get that pass. So she drives away from the player who's going to receive the ball next, makes a loaded stack with Kumwenda. Here's her isolated one-on-one, and then she's close enough to feed her goal shooter. Now in this play, Kira Austin uses some clever footwork to get past her defender, but what's the actual technique here? If we're trying to step to the right, we first need our right leg, our fake step, to be outside the frame of, or the cones of, our defender. This makes them bite at our fake, and then we can read their moves and drive the other way. And then, just like Bronny James, we're able to beat our defender and then put him on a highlight reel. Speaking of a highlight reel, this step from Kira Austin is absolutely nasty, but look at how that fake step is outside the frame of, or the cones of, our defender. And now for this next step, we're going to see the confidence to throw those one-on-one passes, but look at how that fake leg is outside the frame of that defender, and then boom, we're going the other way. Beautiful step. So in summary for the Vixens, it's less about a loaded stack and more about maximizing our one-on-one pass success through using proper footwork to create separation from the defender, and with the ball passer to capitalize on that advantage that we've made through throwing confident and accurate passes. In summary, understanding the loaded stack strategy is a great way to learn and understand the importance of depth in netball. And even if your team doesn't use a typical loaded stack, you can still use the principles of patience at the transverse line and the importance of depth to clear out space and then cut back to the ball. Knowing who will be the next ball receiver in the stack and correctly timing your drives to the ball to facilitate that. And being able to beat your defender and throw confident passes to your teammates. Now, I hope this video has helped you understand how to master the midcourt a little bit better. Thanks for watching.